my grandmother was very influential in my life and my upbringing. So while being in the States, she got really sick. So she got breast cancer and she got healed from that. But then she also started having heart problems, just like a whole array of things that chemo can do to you. Just heart problems, diabetes, high cholesterol, you name it. She was taking pills for just everything. And they couldn't do anything because of her heart. So growing up, I knew this. So I made a promise to her that I'm going to become a doctor because I'm going to heal your heart. Not knowing anything of how long it takes to do medical school and this whole process, but just a heartfelt promise of a little girl making to her grandmother, to my abuelita. And that has driven me all this way because of that promise that I made to her. Even after she passed away, it still was solidified. It was my resolve to just keep on going because of her.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Faith Ignite podcast. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to listen and be able to have your faith ignited. Today we have a very, very special guest. And I'll go into details as to who it is in a little bit. But before we do, hey, as always, I want to ask and invite you to be able to just become a partner of this ministry. If this content, this episode, or any of the other episodes has helped you, encouraged you, blessed you, ignited your faith, hey, I would ask that you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you are aware when new episodes are released. And then secondly, hey, if you want to become a financial partner of this ministry, you can go ahead and follow the link below. It'll take you to our website, and you can become a partner with us there, and you can partner with us to help us take these stories of faith around the world to the people that need them. And then lastly, if something's going on in your life, we invite you to drop a comment below, reach out to us on social media, send us an email, however you want to. Just let us know what's going on so we can partner with you and be able to stand and celebrate what God's doing in your life. And so, like I said earlier, today's episode is a very, very special one, near and dear to my heart, because we get the opportunity to interview someone that I have walked life with for the past probably 8-9 years in a very close way. And then she has the opportunity now to come on the podcast after some time and be able to share her story. She's a native, originally born in Panama. Panama. And then came to the U.S. when she was a young girl, went to school in San Antonio, Texas, and then moved back to Panama. And then we actually crossed paths at Oral Roberts University back in 2016, and our paths have been inseparable ever since. She is head over heels for the Lord, doing everything He has called her to do, and it's a blessing to be able to watch it day in and day out. And so, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my wife, Mrs. Rosa Williamson.
I thought I was going to introduce myself. Wow. Well, you already said everything.
Well, you get to you get to go back into it as well. But before we get started, obviously I know you, but for those that's listening and watching, who is Rosa?
I'm a follower of Jesus. I am a daughter. I am a wife, obviously, and then hopefully soon I'll be a mom as well.
Yeah. So obviously there was a lot going on as I kind of give that very brief childhood or very, very brief background story. And so kind of give me the story or rehearse the story to me of how Rosa ended up at ORU.
Yes. So like you said, I did move to the United States when I was really young. I moved when I was about 2 or 3 years old. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, that's what I've been told all my life. So that's what I've said. And I moved to San Antonio, Texas. So that's where I was raised the majority of my life till I was 13. So to give you background, my grandfather worked when he was in Panama. He worked at a part of the U.S. Embassy, basically.
Okay.
Or U.S. territory that they had in Panama as a mechanic for all their trucks, vehicles and all of that. But then when the U.S. decided to leave Panama, obviously they weren't going to just leave all the workers like high and dry. So they gave him the opportunity to become a green card holder. Not only him, but his wife and his kids. Okay. So in that process, when I moved to the U.S., my mom is becoming a green card holder.
Okay.
That process is very lengthy if anyone knows anything about immigration. So when we go, I'm only under a visa at that point, but I have no idea.
Right.
So when I'm 13, my mom gets a like not an email, something in the mail of saying something of the sorts of like, hey, your process is like coming up soon, like your interview is going to be set up. My mom takes that as, okay, we have to go back to Panama, which was sort of true in the sense of our interview, yes, was going to be in Panama because there was like a law that they had passed that your interview for your green card had to be in the country that you were born in.
Okay, yeah.
So my mom decides that. And a part of the story that you didn't mention is that my mom was a single mom. So all I knew is my mom, my grandparents, my aunts, we all lived under the same roof. Meanwhile, my dad is living in Panama.
Okay.
So as a little girl, I just remember that the image of him just becoming a little bit hazy of like who he was and who he is at the time. And we didn't have FaceTime at the time. Maybe we had Skype. I don't know. But so my mom says, hey, I'm going to go to Panama. I am 13 at the time. I just finished 6th grade. I am having the time of my life as a teenager. I have like my little boyfriend or whatever. So I'm like, this is awesome. Like I'm going on vacation like for the summer.
Yeah.
So I tell my mom like, I want to go with you. But the real reason was I want to go with you, which I didn't tell her this, but the real reason in my mind is I want to go because I want to spend time with my dad, this guy that I don't know, because I moved to the States at such a young age. So we go, and what I'm thinking, 13-year-old me, is going to be 2 or 3 months or just the summer turns into 5 years.
Dang.
So, yeah.
So, okay. So now that you're in Panama, you are at this point now where you're going through the whole visa process. And during that time...
The green card process.
Not the visa process, the green card process.
Yeah.
And so during that time, you have the opportunity to obviously be there with your mom, but you also get the opportunity to be there with your dad. So kind of walk me through that process of that relationship and developing that relationship.
So that was really hard. So I lived in the States for such a long time that although Spanish was my primary language, the language that I spoke at home, English really started transforming into being like how I think. It's how I talk to my friends. It's how I text. So going back to Panama, although I thought I knew Spanish, I knew very minimal Spanish because of just the Spanish that I was talking at home with my grandparents and my mom and my aunts. So there was definitely a language barrier when I first went to Panama. And it was just a hard time because I was expecting this grand relationship with my father who like I haven't seen and getting time to spend or getting time with him. And that was just not the case because he had a family. You know, he was married. He had 2 kids. I have a half sister who also lives there, and they had a stronger relationship because obviously she lives there. So it was very hard at times because this is around the time now social media is starting to be a thing. Instagram is like popping off, and I see her post things with being with my dad, and I'm in Panama, but I'm not there or I haven't been invited. So that was really hard as a teenager at the time who just wanted to have a relationship, but also as a teenager who didn't know how to communicate her feelings. So my mom would see me crying and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, my dad, like, I just want a relationship with him. She would call him. He would come over to the house to tell me what's wrong. What can we do? What can I do? I'm mute. I'm silent because I just don't know how to communicate the way that I'm feeling. So that was hard. And it wasn't until later of the 5 years, like probably like months before I left, that finally I was able to communicate how I felt.
Wow. So now that you guys have went through this process of now you're communicating how it is that you're feeling about your dad, and now you guys are developing a relationship, how did that then shape you now that you now have relationship with both parents versus you just had one? Now you're able to see things in a different light. How did that shape you now that you know you had that relationship with your dad?
Yeah, well, I think from a young age, it shaped me in the sense of knowing that I did not want that for my future kids. So knowing that how can I, like, I didn't want that for my kids.
Yeah.
So I think I just been very adamant of, I mean, even before when we were talking of like, hey, like if we're dating, it's to marry. And if I marry you, like, divorce is not on the table.
Yeah.
Like, divorce, like, we need to work it out. Like, if God has brought us together, then it's for a reason, and we just don't get to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
We need to communicate. We need to talk. So I think that's what it helped me with. It helped me with setting boundaries of, I don't want this to be my future because I've seen what it's done to me.
Yeah.
And as well, it helped me communicate a lot better in my relationship with you now.
Yeah. Okay. So now fast forwarding a little bit to that time now where you're at the point where you need to get your green card. And so walk me through that process of getting there. It was supposed to be a couple months, and then now it's 5 years, and then you get the green card, and then now you're back to the U.S.
Yes. So crazy. So we actually got an interview about maybe 2 or 3 years in, and it was denied. That I actually remember, like, I could feel all the feelings of being in the car. We had just left the embassy. I literally lay down in the back, and I'm just like tears coming down my eyes because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going back to the States. Like, that's where all my friends are. Like, that's all I knew. It was just very, very difficult because even though I am from Panama, that's where I was born, but it wasn't where I was raised. So it wasn't home to me. The U.S. became home. So that was so hard that I completely, like, so, I mean, again, I grew up being Christian. My mom was saved right when she like had me, or when I was at a very young age. So she grew me up like going to church, talking to me about God. But it was at this point where I was like, why would God do this to me? Like, why would he leave me stuck in this place that I don't like? I don't have my friends. I'm just a teenager. I have no idea what's going on. And I started to resent God. I just started to resent who he was. Why would he, like, this is not the good plans that he has for me. Like, this can't be the good plans. So yeah, that was hard. I don't know if I want to pause there. You can ask me more.
Yeah. So obviously I know the backstory, but there came a point, like you said, it was denied, and then the process was reopened where
yes,
you guys ended up getting your visa.
The green card.
Sorry, green card, yes.
So basically we were denied because my mom had overstayed like a day or something. So it was really weird. Like, if anyone's gone through immigration stuff, what they did is, like, they asked me questions, like, put my mom in a separate room, me in a separate room. They were just asking me all these types of questions. And I'm innocent, 13, I'm going to be honest, right? And basically it came to that my mom had, like, overstayed in the U.S., and that's why they had denied it when she, like, had her visa. So then it was basically this whole process of now saying, we are so sorry that we did this, or that my mom had to write a letter, and then we had to write letters, like, people that we knew from Texas and my mom was really close to, writing letters of, like, hey, this is why, like, she's an outstanding citizen, of like she can, like this is why she should come back, like all of these reasons, and we had to get lawyers involved. So then after that, about 2 years, then we're just waiting on that process, waiting to hear back for another interview.
Yeah.
And I remember, so at this point, I'm graduating high school. And I knew, like, I just knew in my heart that Panama was not the place for me to stay.
Yeah.
And to give you context, like, I've always been really good in school. I had scholarships. Like, I had several scholarships to universities in Panama. Like, I could have stayed. I would not have to pay, like, a lot out of pocket. But I just knew it wasn't the place that I was meant to be. So I started so my goal has always been medical school. So I started looking, or people actually started coming to our school to talk to us about like their programs, like out of the country. So there's like this program in China. There was like a 6-year program. I told my mom about it, and my mom so graciously, like, I knew that she knew that wasn't for me, but she still gave me that opportunity to like communicate and discuss with her what I thought I wanted to do. Yeah. So we went to like this meeting and all of that. All while my mom is like praying and fasting for the door to open to the US. Yeah. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. There was just one day I told her like, hey, I just don't want to go to school. Like, I don't feel well. She was like, okay. Behind the scenes, I didn't know that she was like, yes, because she had been praying and fasting, and she was going to break her fast that day. So that day that she breaks her fast, she prays over me. And when she's praying over me, the Spirit of the Lord really, through her, told me that the doors were going to be open for the United States for me. And I was like, whoa. Because like I told you, at this moment in time, I'm actually agnostic. Like, I don't want to know anything about God. Yeah. I've gone rogue. And she prayed, I let her pray for me. And I can't remember if it was in that moment or when we got the interview that I told God, if you really open this door, like, I'm all in. Like, I made that promise. And he opened the door. Like, we went to the interview and everything went well. And I was like, what? And it was the first time that God became real for me. Yeah. Because I had seen it through my mom. Like, when she prayed, she fasted, God responded all the time, just like that. But for me to ask and it happened, I was in awe. And I was all in. Yeah. In 2015. That was January of 2015.
So January 2015 is when the door opened for you to come back to the U.S. and you came back, and obviously you went to ORU in 2016. That's when we met. But at what point did faith become real to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was that specific moment, and to tell you why it was so real to me, because I remember. So that happened January 2015. And we're still waiting on like all the paperwork to get my passport and like all of that. And then I'm obviously finishing high school. I was actually to the point of like, I don't have to go to graduation. It's fine. We could just go. Yeah. But my mom was like, no, like, let's stay. I was like, okay. So literally right after graduation, probably not even a week, we leave. And my mom, when she was working in the United States, she would clean houses. So there was this person she got really close to. Her name's Helen. And I had spoken to Helen right when everything like was like, okay, we're going back to the US. I had spoken to Helen, and she had told me about ORU. Again, at the time, yes, I did say, God, I'm all in. But she told me about ORU and about this Christian university, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. Right. Like, at the time, I was just thinking, but like Christians can be judgy. Like, I don't want to be judged. Yep. So I listened. She like, hey, I know someone that's there right now. They're like a biology pre-med major. Like, when you come back, we'll just set up a meeting, talk, and see how everything goes.
Okay.
So we go, we talk, and in that meeting that she has at her house, I'm still skeptical. Like, I'm still like, okay, like maybe in the future, I'm not sure. I don't know. And the girl that's there, it says, well, there's like a college weekend that you can go to try it out or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Helen says, I'll pay for your flight and I'll pay whatever the fee is to go to college weekend. And I was just like,
you got nothing to lose.
Literally have nothing to lose. So I was like, okay, why not? It would be my first time flying by myself, solo. Yeah. So I said yes. But in the meantime of that, I got into community college, just started to get like my prereqs. But I'm telling you, I was all in, that I was really yearning and wanting community. That I remember one time I saw these group of people literally with their Bibles out, and I was like, I want to be a part of that. So I just waited till like they were done. I was like, hi. Yeah. I just like was wondering if this was a Bible study. What are you guys doing? So I got plugged in. They were like part of a whole different church, but I was just yearning for that. Yeah. Because I was all in. And I think because I made that promise, or not that I think, I know that there was a boldness behind me wanting to know more of the things of God and knowing that I could not do it by myself.
Yeah.
So I already forgot what your question was, but
when it became real to you.
Yes. So, okay. Yeah. So when it became real to me was in that moment. And then there's just little things that I did where I, like Helen saying that, like, I didn't know in the moment, but obviously looking at it now, that like God was real. He's been real to me consistently my whole entire life. Yeah. Like, there's been little miracles and miracles, like even how I got to ORU. He's just been real to me when I decided to have a personal relationship with him.
Yeah. So obviously you are, like you talked about, medicine has always been your thing. And so walk me through the story of what made you want to go into medicine.
You want me to cry?
Let's do it. Let's pull out the waterworks.
So my grandmother was very influential in my life and my upbringing. So when I came to the States, I came actually with her and my grandpa. And although I didn't have my father in my life, I always had my grandparents in my life. And they were like my second parents. Even at one point, it felt like they were my primary parents. So I had a really close relationship with my grandma. She would spoil me, is basically what it comes down to. I was the first granddaughter, so of course she would do that. And while being in the States, she got really sick. So she got breast cancer at a really young age. Like, she was probably like late 40s or early 50s. And she got healed from that. But then she also started having heart problems, just like a whole array of things that chemo can do to you. Just heart problems, diabetes, high cholesterol, you name it. She was taking pills for just everything. Ultimately, it was the heart failure that really affected her the most. Okay. Because her heart wasn't pumping at 100% anymore. Yeah. No one does. So it was just not pumping efficiently. Yeah. So, and then she got cancer again in her late 50s. And they couldn't do anything because of her heart. So growing up, I knew this. So I made a promise to her that I'm going to become a doctor because I'm going to heal your heart. Not knowing anything of how long it takes to do medical school and like this whole process, but just a heartfelt promise of a little girl making to her grandmother, to my abuelita. And that has driven me like all this way, because of that promise that I made to her. Even after she passed away, it still was solidified. It was my resolve to just keep on going.
Yeah.
Because of her.
Yeah. And so, like, even you talk about that resolve as far as like going into medical school and or being able to start your path in your career in that direction. Talk to me about the aspect of where faith tied into this journey of you becoming a doctor, because obviously for you, I know obviously it wasn't a clear-cut path, but talk to me about how your faith kind of guided you and carried you through this whole journey of becoming a doctor.
Yes. So if anyone knows, medical school, or how you even get there, is after you finish high school, you do 4 years of undergrad. Usually you could do any major, you just have to do pre-med to get your prerequisites. And then after that, probably your junior year, it's recommended that you take the MCAT to then apply. You apply a whole year in advance. So you would be applying to medical school your senior year. Sorry, no, you would actually apply the end of your junior year. And know your senior year that you're going to medical school.
Okay.
So that's how that process works. So I'm at ORU. I know that this is what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. And
so much so that I remember being at chapel one day, and I was praying. It was like after chapel, and the Lord, with my eyes open, I literally saw the vision of me in my white coat, wearing like a red dress. Oh, that's funny, I'm wearing red. And walking on the stage, like receiving my white coat. And I knew that was like my sophomore year. So I was like, I know that I'm called to do this.
Yeah.
So where does faith tie into all of that? Well, I mean, I had to have faith for all my exams that I was taking in undergrad to pass them, to have a good GPA and all of that. But it was during my junior year that I was getting kind of burnt out. So I was like, you know what? I think I need to take a gap year. At the time, gap years were not really common, but people were starting to take them to get experience and make sure like, hey, this is really what I want to do.
Right.
And I remember wrestling with that, because if you know anything about, at least back then, I don't know how much it is now, but the pre-med just atmosphere is very competitive, very judgy. Like even in a Christian college, it was very much like, they're getting that grade? Like what? So even thinking about, or even saying out loud, I want to take a gap year, like it almost felt like I was a failure. Like, why are you wanting to rest? Like, you're not going to rest the next 4 years when you're in medical school and then after residency.
Right.
So my friend a very close friend at the time, Ursula, and we were sitting in Upper Law in the car. And I don't remember what. We probably had some immunology exam or something. But I think her or me, whoever it was, blurted out like, we're just so tired. And we started thinking like, what if we take a gap year? And like, I remember looking at each other and being like, oh my gosh, have you really been thinking that too? Like, yes. So it was around that time where I decided, okay, I'm not going to apply right away. I think I need a break. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And I felt peace. I felt peace about that. But then that's where faith really started to work in me, because now I needed to have the faith to study for the MCAT after I graduated. Yeah. COVID hit. Yeah, I mean, we got married. There was just so much going on, and I kind of just lost myself in that whole process because yes, I knew in my heart that this was what I was supposed to do, but then there was this expectation of, my family has also always expected this of me. Is this actually really what I, Rosa, want to do.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was hard. That was a hard transition of like, okay, is this what I'm supposed to do? Yes, I know, but is it what I want to do? It was really hard. So thankful that we have a man in our life that can speak life into us, because he told me, you're anointed to do that. Like, that is your path. That is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, and I think there's other things just going on that were affecting me as well. We left ORU because we were living there. Context, we were living there after we graduated because Yvonne was working there. And then we left. I had a job in the medical field. Like I said, I wanted to get my foot in. Loved it so much. I learned so much. Then I started working at an urgent care. And through all of that, the mission was still the same, but I was having hurdles. I took the MCAT. I didn't get the score that I wanted.
Yeah.
But I still got an interview.
Yep.
And that was like one of those moments again where God was real to me, because in my mind, in man's mind, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to get an interview with this score.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I get an interview because I already had applied. I had just taken the MCAT later. I get the interview, and I remember after that, got waitlisted, and then I didn't get in. And I remember after that, in my quiet time, just the Lord pressed on me of like, this is because I'm going to make this happen. And I needed you to see that even with that low MCAT score, I could still open the door. And I was like, he's just so good.
Sure is.
So good. So after that, I took the MCAT again. I had like a call with the medical admissions people. They told me like, what they thought. And one of the things was my MCAT score. And then like my interview. I was so nervous because I did not feel qualified because of my MCAT score. And unfortunately, it hindered my performance. So I'm like, solid, I can do that. Right. Take the MCAT again. Scored a little bit higher, still not the score. But now I'm like, God's got this.
Right.
Like, not by my might.
Exactly.
So then I hear nothing. It's radio silent. And I'm like, God, did I like not hear from you? Like, I'm just so confused. So I decided to take a break completely from that. And I'm like, I'm not going to apply. We spoke about it.
Yep.
Like, I'm just taking a year off just from applying. And I'm going to focus more on like my career at this urgent care. And after that, I think like I'll be able to apply again. I'll become more confident in who I am and what God's called me to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's becoming really long.
No, yeah, go ahead. Like, you share the story that you want.
So, that's a song. Okay, so I do that, and I just have a really amazing opportunity at the urgent care that I'm working at.
Yeah.
So I'm a medical assistant. I move up in like probably a year to clinic trainer. So I'm training all the medical personnel that comes in, medical assistant, front desk people. And I realize I have a passion for teaching. Mm-hmm. Like, I have a passion for getting the knowledge, knowing the information, and then passing it on and making sure like that there's certain efficiencies and everything's organized and all of that. Then after that, literally less than probably 9 months of doing that, I get promoted. Yeah, because I was around February, and then in December, I get promoted to clinic manager. Which, to give just backstory, this is such an amazing like intertwine, because yes, I've wanted to be a doctor, but I've also felt deep down inside that I would have my own clinic.
Yeah.
So then this just comes full circle that now I'm managing clinics.
Yeah.
I did a whole project in high school of like, what would I need if I needed like to have a clinic, how much money, what would I, like all of that, budget, everything. So then now I'm managing a clinic, I'm managing other people, and I'm loving it. Like truly and honestly, it's currently what I do right now too. And I truly love just developing people, making sure that their full potential is exposed, or that they're using everything that they have inside themselves. And like, if they don't know, then I can like call it out in them.
Right.
So I love that. And I'm managing 3 clinics. So at this point, from the clinic trainer to clinic manager is like my year of like, I decided to take off.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I decide, okay, now's the time to apply again. Okay. I believe I'm still a clinic trainer when I applied, but then I get promoted to clinic manager. So I apply, I'd taken the MCAT again and gotten a higher score. Still didn't feel good enough, but I said, God, you've called me to do this.
Yeah.
So then I get an interview very late into the cycle. And when I mean late is like the next year in April.
Okay. Yeah.
But what's very significant about this was that I was about to throw in the towel.
Yep. I remember that.
I remember thinking, I think I could just stay here where I'm at, keep moving up in the company. I love what I'm doing, and I'll be fine. Like, I'll be okay. It's good money. It was good income for us. So I was thinking, I think I would be okay with this.
Yeah.
And this is, like, before I said it to you, it was very just back and forth with me and the Lord, and I just was having a really hard time, and like word had been spoken that I would get in and all that, but there was still doubt in me because it was not happening when I thought it should happen.
Yeah.
So I get the call for the interview, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So excited. Like, I knew that's all I need. I was like, I just need an interview.
Right.
But deep down inside, I did feel like I think my path looks just different. I just still felt like my path looked different, but I was like, it's an interview.
Right.
I got this. Went to the interview went great. After that, 2 weeks later, I got a call.
Yeah.
And in the interview, they tell you, like, if you get a call from this person or this person, this is what this means. And the school that I applied to has like an alternate way of getting into medical school. It's like a bridge program. So basically, it's for people who are doing medicine as a second career, or like if you're a minority. So they had offered me the spot of, you do this 1 year of a certificate program.
Yeah.
All you have to do is get A's and B's, and then you have to get the certain MCAT score.
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. I was like, sign me up.
Yeah.
And it's paid for. Praise God.
Praise God.
So I did that. I accepted. And it was just God's faithfulness.
Yeah.
Again. Like, I knew that I knew this is what God has for me. And although it looked different, I knew that this is the path that he had written for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, and I guess we'll kind of wrap up on this episode, or this question. And so, like, now that you've been through all of that, the ups and downs, the lefts, the rights, the loops, the twists, the roundabouts, all of that, what advice would you give your younger self, or what advice would you give someone that's listening that they may be going through a situation where they're currently facing something that they received the word, they received the promise, but it's not yet come to pass, so they think that the Lord's not working or moving, and they are in that state where they're just waiting? What advice would you tell them?
Yeah, I have 2 things. Your community is so important, and we have surrounded ourselves with like-minded believers
Yeah.
and like-minded people who are in the same room, hearing what's being prophesied over us, that are able to speak life into our situation, into what's going on, and encourage us. That's one, because that sounds great. But the second part is that you have to believe it for yourself. And I think that's just the advice I would have given myself if I would have known what I know now, and reciting that promise, keeping it at the forefront of everything. And you know what? When you do that, it's so amazing because you start saying it out loud to other people that are not believers, and they start saying it back to you. Of like, no, Rosa, you're supposed to be a doctor.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because if you are anointed to do it, if you're gifted to do it, God's gonna make a way for it.
Yeah.
So that too, surround the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Your community is so, so important, so, so key into making sure that you're reciting that promise. Like he said that to me my sophomore year in college, or like it was solidified, I will say. And that was probably 2017.
Yeah.
We're in 2025 and I am still standing on that promise because it doesn't, the timing doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it looks like. God wrote an individual story for all of us. And it may not look the traditional way that it looks like for the 75% of people.
Right.
And that's okay. And I think understanding that has solidified in me that my path doesn't have to look like everyone else's.
Yeah. Wow. Rosa Williamson, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, obviously I knew the story, but you get to take a deeper dive into being able to sit across from me and have you share your story is one thing, and then being able to share that with everyone here that's listening, it's another. And so thank you so much for opening up. And it's honestly, for me personally, being with you, it blesses me to see your resilience time after time after time, where you may get the report that's not the report that you're believing, but you still bounce back and you're like, no, I'm not accepting this. This is what God said, and you go after it. And so it's a blessing to see the resilience and to see like how you're not moved by what you see, but you're standing on that word. And so
Amen.
Thank you so much for sharing with us.
Well, thanks for having me, baby.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're going to have to wrap this episode up. But like I said in the beginning, hey, if this podcast has helped you, encouraged you, motivated you, encouraged your faith, ignited your faith, hey, I would ask that you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you are aware when new episodes are released. And then secondly, if you want to become a financial partner of this ministry, you can follow the link below. It'll take you to our website and you can become a partner there, where you'll be able to help us take these stories of faith around the world to the people that need them. And then lastly, hey, if there's something going on in your life, we would love to know about it. Go ahead and drop a comment below, reach out to us on social media, send us an email, however you want to, but just let us know so we can be able to stand and celebrate what God's doing in your life. And so, like I said, we're going to have to sign off for now. But until next time, remember, this is Faith Ignite, and we'll see you guys then. God bless you.